Oh, my lord, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh, yes, I would. I would suck his dick. So what are you ladies discussing?
Books?
Welcome to the Nerd Blitz Book Club. Pull up a seat and pull down your pants. Listen to us read and go on rants. Hey gang, thanks for joining us this week for the Nerd Blitz Book Club. I'm Doom.
And I'm Fitz.
And we're back once again with Star Wars Dark Disciple by Christie Golden. And holy shit, for the most part, this was a slow week, wasn't it?
Yeah, these two chapters are pretty standard, hostage rescue. Because where we left off last time at chapter 10, they had just beat the shit out of that guard in the bathroom and gotten the location of the two Pike hostages, the mother and the two kids.
What does Pike rhyme with?
Bike?
Sorry, go ahead.
And so we ended that with they're going to infiltrate the house where the guy said the hostages were being held.
Which is the Pike leader's two... I almost said his two wives and his kid. His two kids and his wife.
Right. So we pick up in chapter 11 with they get to this what the guy described as like a house, and really it's more like a fucking citadel with a tower on top. It's like a giant military base with a tower, and the hostages are at the very top of the tower.
Mm-hmm.
So
already
they're in a situation they weren't expecting.
As you can see from these first 2 pages, is Voss is already learning, or his respect for her is already growing, and by leaps and bounds, or it continues to, I should say. Because he says right here, after spending so much time in her company, he now understood why Kenobi held her in such respect, even though she had been an enemy. So that right there was like, okay, so these two are getting close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do a good job of like developing their relationship and showing them getting closer and closer. We've kind of joked that he's going to put it in before this book is over, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen at some point. But
well, let's put it this way: you were talking about how she's making it seem, real gradual and natural. We're 95 pages in at this point, and it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel forced. It's like, okay, I can see it happening.
Yeah, it seems really kind of natural.
Them getting together, not him putting it in.
Yeah.
Although that's a natural progression.
So basically, they scale this tower. They figure out a way to get in. What?
What?
What'd you say?
I laughed because you said they're figuring out a way to get it in.
Oh. Yeah, into the tower.
Oh, into the tower. Okay, I got you.
So
this episode's really fucking filthy.
I'm
sorry.
So they do get into this cell where the hostages are being held pretty easily, didn't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, don't they basically say that it seems really fucking easy?
Well, yeah. When they get inside, they're like, "Oh, this is way too easy." But
yeah, it's
part of the reason why it's so easy is they get in and they figure out that, hey, wait, there's only 2 of the 3 prisoners in here.
Uh-oh, Spadoodios!
Uh-oh. Basically, it's the kids and the mother's missing. They're holding the mother somewhere else. So now they're worried that the guy that they got the information from has just deliberately set them up. And basically they're right, because no sooner do they go like, holy shit, where's the mother at? Oh God, we're fucked. That the alarms start going off because the guy that she knocked out, it wasn't quite knocked out. So he's already awake and has set off the alarm. So they got to get the hell out of there.
They get the hell out of there, and there's a fucking blaster fire and all kinds of shit as they come flying out with the kids.
Like literally flying out. They just jump out the window,
dive
basically.
out a fucking window, yeah.
Yeah. Jedi hopping down the side of this, I don't know, it's kind of like it was like a tower built into a mountain or something. Wasn't there like rocks and shit all around it?
Yeah, it feels like an old fucking castle or something.
Yeah, almost like
built
it was
into a mountain, maybe.
Yeah, like it was almost like carved into the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it says they're jumping from rock to rock down this down the side of this thing, and they've got the kids on the Pike children are on their back, which I thought was kind of fucked up. Like they're shitting their pants as they're like jumping stories down the side of this mountain.
Yeah. And Ventress jumped out first, and she's got quite a bit of a lead on Voss, which kind of lets him use his force powers a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is one of the only times where he's like openly let the force help him get the job done.
And Voss almost loses his kid once, doesn't he?
Doesn't he almost he almost loses him, but then he almost doesn't he almost fall in the lava? Or is that his kid that falls in the lava? I think
he actually lost the kid, and he had to grab him with the force.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the kid fell off his back, and he actually had to reach out and grab him with the force. Otherwise, he was going to fall into the lava. Because remember, we're still on Mustafar.
Yeah.
So they're jumping down the side of this mountain, and then they're jumping across lava flows and shit to get away from these guys. The Feline.
And we forgot to mention, as they were leaving, Voss got shot.
Oh yeah, he took a shot to the shoulder.
He took a shot to the face.
That was Asajj.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. But yeah, he took a shot to the shoulder as he was jumping out the window, or as they were jumping down, or as he was falling or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and they called their lava fleas to meet him at the bottom.
Yeah.
So then they ride off with the kids on lava fleas and get away.
Which still, lava flea, that sounds disgusting as fuck, doesn't it?
Yeah, kinda. So that's basically that's pretty much the whole rescue operation for the kids, for the kids at least. I mean, that was really fast. Yeah.
But a lot of shit happened. It happened really fast, and in book form it's not much to talk about, but as I wrote in my notes, it would have been fucking amazing to watch, you know?
Yeah, it would have been a great sequence for the cartoon.
That's not me saying, like, the way she wrote it's fucking boring. No, it's engaging and shit.
But it's so visual. The whole thing is just, it's a set piece. It's an action piece.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, how the fuck was this explained in the script? Because, you know, scripts are bare bones telling you what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of their scripts, and they're not always as bare bones as, like, a movie scripts usually are.
Oh, are they?
No, I mean, they are, but they're still stripped down. They're not like prose, but there is a lot of direction in them. I think that might be the case with animation, is you have to be pretty specific about.
Well, I mean, like, I've seen, and I know it's a totally different beast, but I've seen Family Guy scripts and shit, and I mean, there's not a lot to them.
Yeah. Well.
So, I've never really seen many animated scripts other than, like I said, Family Guy. So I don't know if, like, they beat by beat break down the action, or if they just leave that to, like, the showrunner or the director of that episode or the animation team or whatever. Not like the overseas animation team, but the animation team in studio to figure out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've always wondered that. But yeah, would have been great to see. It's not a slam against Golden that I want to see it, but...
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. But anywho's, we go back to Ventress's ship, the Banshee, wasn't it?
Right.
And they talk about how they're gonna go in and save the mama.
Right. They gotta figure out where they're holding the mother.
Yeah.
Because they're only 2/3 done with their assignment.
Yeah.
And so there's a pretty cool sequence where Asajj dresses Voss's blaster wound, which I felt like, or I thought the description of it was pretty cool. You don't really get blaster wounds described too much. I've never really read too many of them, so it's interesting to see what those actually do and why sometimes there's blood. Like, well, in episode 7 where Finn has blood on his hands from his friend that got shot, and I always thought, well, the laser will cauterize it, right? So there is no blood, but apparently there can be.
Well, it's just like a lightsaber. In episode 4, there was blood from that dude. Everybody's always bitched about it, that, George fucked with other shit. Why didn't he fix that? And I always figured that, like, especially with lightsabers, like, depending on how fast the strike is, yeah, a lightsaber's super hot, but it might not have enough time to cauterize the wound,
Yeah.
Like something with
or it might
Maul
not be
in
instant.
episode 1. Oh, yeah, that too. It might take a few seconds to crust over.
Yeah.
But like something with Maul in episode 1, that was a quick strike, but there's a lot to go through there, so that made sense to me why there wasn't blood gushing,
Yeah.
And I figured, blasters are sort of the same way, although once they make impact, they're fucking in there. But yeah, I figured blasters could be temperamental too, so. But the description of her fixing his wound, I thought that was pretty interesting and revealing towards what happens at the end of chapter 12, which we'll get to, but it kind of points towards that because she's telling him he's injured real bad and shit, and he's trying to downplay it, and she's basically telling him, dude, you're fucked up. And he kind of gives her a look and looks at the kids like, bitch, shut the fuck up. They're scared enough,
Yeah, he tells her not in front of the kids.
So yeah, he kind of gives her a look and looks at the kids and like, shut the fuck up.
And ultimately what this whole nursing scene, the whole reason for that is at the end, he reaches out and like touches her hand.
Yeah.
And some sparks fly and shit.
Boners be popping.
And the Barry White comes up.
Oh yeah. Baby, close them shades and get your ass on the hot bed. And once again, like I said earlier in the chapter, you can feel just somebody's gonna get cummed on.
Oh, Jesus. I was going to say they had a moment, but
I like my description better.
but I like how it happened, and neither one of them was like everybody.
You like
both of
how
them were
one
like,
of them got cummed on?
Yeah, and both of them were like, "What just happened?"
I don't know. It just went off.
Not in front of the kids.
So, anywho, they're talking about how they're gonna save the mom, and Ventress says just leave the kids here, and they're gonna split up. And there's a funny little moment where when Ventress says they're gonna leave the kids there, and Voss kind of frightfully, I guess, asks her like, "What the fuck are you gonna do?" Let's see. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. Oh, here it is. It's at the very tail end of the chapter.
Oh wait, before you get there, the way how they discover where the mother's being held.
Yeah. Oh.
Voss.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I've got something interesting to talk about that. So go ahead.
The girl Pike child.
Yeah.
Has like a little holographic locket thing, which is one of those like sci-fi tropes that really bugs the shit out of me because it's used all the time. The hologram locket.
Yeah.
But anyway, Voss gets her to let him hold it, and so he uses his psychometry or whatever his Jedi skill is, and he can actually see the kidnapping happen, or not the kidnapping. I'm sorry, but where they split them up. They had all three of them in that cell, and then somebody came and took the mother away, and he could hear somebody's name being referenced as to like where she's going. She's going to be with this slave of this or prisoner of this, whoever this Black Sun guy is.
Yeah, the leader of this faction of Black Sun.
So he's basically like the leader of this family of Black Sun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I'll tell you real quick, I told you just before, a couple hours ago that I was gonna be starting to read that Quinlan Vos Jedi in Darkness Star Wars omnibus from Dark Horse.
Yeah.
It's funny in there because the first story in there is called Star Wars Twilight, I believe. Yeah. It's written by John Ostrander.
Okay.
And pencils by Jan Duursema?
Yeah, Jan Duursema. Jan Duursema.
Yeah. What that is, in that story, it's a great...
Who is a lady, by the way.
Yeah, I figured that.
For a long time, I thought it was like a European name, like Jan Michael Vincent, or, like a dude's name.
Yeah.
But...
And I mean, wasn't there a TV pitchman whose name was Jan?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I thought there was. I don't fucking know. Anywho, the first issue of Star Wars Twilight, because it's a 4-issue arc in the middle of one of the old books. It starts with Voss waking up. He doesn't know who the fuck he is or where the fuck he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, this one of those little devil-looking dudes.
Zabrak?
No, not Maul. The other fuckers with the horns coming straight out of or curving out of their foreheads like Hellboy.
Deveronian.
Yeah, Deveronian. I was just looking it up because it's the title of another story in this omnibus.
Mm-hmm.
A Deveronian comes up and basically tells him, "Come with me if you want to live." Ah! And he hops on the speeder, or he follows this dude and hops on a speeder with him, and he gets the dude's gun, or his blaster, and they're firing after the fuckers who are chasing Voss.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, these two fucking bounty hunters or whatever are coming after Voss, and they break in acting like they're Jedi, and Voss quickly kills them, and he grabs one of their lightsabers, which turns out to be his lightsaber.
Oh.
And the whole point of me telling you this is that whole touching shit and seeing memories or whatever the fuck, that came from his past stories. Because once he touches the lightsaber, he starts getting flashes of visions and shit, and he sees that his old Padawan, which was Ayla.
Okay.
And he sees Mace and shit, and it's kind of a cool bunch of images on this one page. I can show it to you afterwards.
That's like how he gets his memories back.
Yeah, it's got a flash of images, and it's kind of cool. And this dude, one of the goat-faced fuckers, comes at him.
Okay.
With a lightsaber, and all of a sudden, starting to use it, he remembers who he is and says, "I know who I am. My name is Quinlan Vos, and I'm a Jedi." The whole point of me telling you all of that is that came from his past story, his past, EU life.
Mm-hmm.
The
psychometry.
Yeah, and I wondered if that came from the EU or if that was just something that they picked up for this book or those episodes. Or yeah.
No.
So yeah, that they pulled that from the EU too.
Well, that's cool. That's another example of them taking something that was EU and putting it in the Clone Wars. Or a variation of it.
Mm-hmm. There's truth in legend.
Yep.
So yeah, he touches this hollow locket, finds out where the mom is, and let me grab my book again because I was holding on to my omnibus. But you got scared right there. I was holding on to my... God, this is going to be the filthiest fucking episode yet.
I just always assume that's what you're holding on to.
Well, I've got... Never mind. I was going to come out way dirtier. Anyway, they figure out where the mom is and they set off to go get her. And Ventress says, "Okay, let's go." Voss glanced back at the two children in the hold. "What about them?" Ventress says back, "What about them?" And he says, "We can't just let them run around the ship. They're kids. They'll have this thing reduced to scrap metal. And what if they wander off?" Ventress says, "I'll take care of it." That right there, even though, yes, they're getting paid to bring these kids back, I was like, oh shit, what's she gonna do to the kids?
Yeah, that's frightening. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. Because we've seen the shit she does. She's not the fucking most kindest, warm-hearted person.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking she-witch. So yeah, she says that, and I was like, uh-oh! Like I shit my pants or something.
And so then it takes us on to chapter 12, which then we see what she does to him, and it's basically she puts him in these restraining chairs that she uses for prisoners. Yeah. And sounds almost like it's like a roller coaster seat where the bars come down over the top of you and lock into place. Keep you in place.
That's what I saw too. That's what I saw when she said that too.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, well, are you sure they're going to be okay in these things? And her response basically is like, hey, these have held like some of the most hardened men in the galaxy. They're surely going to hold these two kids, which is
That's almost an exact quote.
Yeah, which is not at all what he meant, but
yeah, and that's almost an exact quote too. He said that wasn't what I meant, but all right. I've got in my notes, there's a little wave, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck that was. You know?
Yeah. Oh, a little wave?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she's the girl's like looking at him like, hey, what the fuck? Why did you're going to let her lock us up in this? And so basically he's just like shrugs his shoulder and is like, well, sorry, you'll be fine. I'll see you later.
Oh, well, right here, the little girl screams his name and he says, sorry, kid, it's her ship, and shrugs his arms.
Right. He kind of plays it off like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. It's no big deal. Just suck it up.
Yeah, Ventress goes off to take care of the guards or something. Yeah, take care of the... Wait.
Well, no, she goes off because they have to split up to get into this guy's fortress or whatever. This guy's Zeton Moj.
I'm glad you fucking said that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm sure it's wrong.
Well, I'd rather you sound retarded than me sound retarded. We've got fucking almost 20 hours of me going, oh, duh, this is the name.
So this guy's like one of the leaders of the Black Sun. And so Asajj is going to hit him from one side, and Voss is there as her backup, or he's got his own. She's supposed to go keep them busy while he gets to the mother. Yeah. But and how she keeps them busy basically is allows herself to be captured, and so in this throne room or whatever where this Zeton Moj guy is hanging out, one of his advisors has just told him about, they haven't found the people who kidnapped the two kids back, so he's pretty pissed off about that. And then
before you get to that, there is another part in this last segment, or this first segment, that we shouldn't skip over.
Okay.
When they split up, he tells her not to get killed, and she smirks, as he had known she would, but just before she opened the door and descended the ramp, Voss thought her expression melted for a moment into a genuine smile.
Mm-hmm.
And it genuinely did. So, again...
The Ice Queen's heart is melting.
Uh-huh. I wanted to make sure that we mention that again, because...
Yeah, this all adds up. It's all adding up to something. Yeah, she keeps
mentioning it, but it's not in a way that's just like banging you over the fucking head, where it's like, okay, we get it, they're gonna fuck. Yeah, Leave us alone.
Yeah, it's all pretty subtle and natural. It's not overdone.
Yeah. So, anyways, in the throne room.
Right. So he's mad because Krem has managed to get his two kids back, and so basically he's like, well, you know what? He knew exactly what would happen if he tried to rescue them. So why don't you go kill the mother now? And that's when guards arrive with, well, I guess she doesn't get captured, right? She comes to them and tells them that she's an emissary from the Pikes. She's come to negotiate their release, or negotiate some kind of deal with them.
Yeah, and the dude tells her, I know you took the kids, and she's like...
Yeah, he's not buying it for a second.
She's telling him, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, I didn't take the kids, and he's like, bullshit, she witch.
So she gets him to agree to... She's like, I need to see the mother and the kids to make sure they're okay. Like the typical hostage negotiator tactic. He's like, well, you're going to have to wait to see the kids, because I don't have them. And then, but he says, go ahead and go get the mother and bring her here and show her to her. And his plan is he's going to bring the mother into the throne room, show her to this emissary, and then chop her head off.
Them. Yeah, and send Ventress back to be like, oh, that dude killed your lady.
Uh-huh. He's going to make her the witness to this execution and have her go back and have to tell the Pike leader that his wife's dead and it's his fault.
And they drag her into the fucking room, and the Black Sun leader's, getting all cocky and shit, and says, well, there she is. And suddenly a voice came ringing out and says, and here I am. And Voss came pimping into the scene again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somehow he was, I don't know, I was kind of confused about that part. Like, how the fuck, where was he? It sounded like he was came in the room with the mother, like behind the mother.
Yeah.
So like the guards brought her in and he was following them somehow? Is that how you took it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's not how I thought it was. And it's like, the thing I would have done to make it a little bit more clear is like, have the door open and a guard comes flying in.
Right.
That way you get into it a little quicker, I think.
Yeah, well, and again, this was meant to be for the screen, so you would have seen him sneaking along behind them probably.
True. But I mean, to adapt it for a novel, she didn't explain. That's one of the few things in this where it's like, you can give Christie Golden a little shit. It's not explained that well what the fuck's going on. All of a sudden, Voss is there.
Yeah. Yeah, this was one of the spots in the book so far that I was like, huh? I got kind of lost. Like, I lost track of the action, kind of.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe if she'd have just said he stepped out of the shadows, but it just says, a human male, dark of skin and hair and sporting a strange yellow tattoo across his face, stepped in front of the pike, grinning broadly. So was he pretending to be a guard, or what?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was... Yeah, did he take a guard's place? Is he the one that led her into the room? Or, I mean, surely not, because, I mean, he's not the same, he's not a Feline or whatever as the Black Sun are. So yeah. I don't think he could have probably, impersonated a guard.
Yeah, because those are big motherfuckers.
Yeah, they definitely have a specific look.
Bunch of fighting breaks out and...
Yeah, a fucking shit ton of fighting in like a page and a half. With the whole fight lasts like a page and a half, and that was it. And the next thing you know, they're back on their ship with the mother, and they're flying off.
And that's where I got the little wave thing from.
Oh, because he waved at him from he kind of pulled a Qui-Gon Jinn and jumped up onto the, Voss did, but jumped up onto the ramp.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting, he's just like, fuck this. And this time it's not like, fuck this because, he's leaving. It's like, fuck this, Ventress is leaving,
Right. Yeah, I'm going to die if I don't.
He didn't send Obi-Wan to start it up. Ventress got on the ship and was like, let's go. And he's like, oh, fuck, I better go. And yeah, he jumps up on the ramp. Well, he fights with the dude a little bit while he's trying to get on the ramp, and then they start to fly off, and he gives a cocky little wave, and that I thought was fucking perfect.
Oh, yeah, and we kind of skipped over in this fight, when Voss steps out, they just beat ass on all the guards and stuff. And then Ventress reaches out and basically chokes that Zeton Maj guy.
Yeah.
And lifts him up and chokes him with the Force. And so he's kind of shitting his pants all of a sudden, like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
And basically she tells him, don't do this again. The Pikes say don't do this again.
Yeah. And then after the rescue, Ventress kind of gets a little cold towards Voss again.
Yeah.
And this, again, leads to the whole fucking, not pounding you over the head. It doesn't feel forced. Ventress is thinking about, the whole hand-holding, hand-touching thing, and she kind of gets a little cold with him.
Yeah, she's intentionally trying to block that out.
Yeah. She doesn't want to fucking, get into the dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's showing a new side of her, as you've said, I think, a couple times now. The Ice Princess's fucking heart's melting.
A little bit. So then they take the three Pikes back to Obadiah, and they reunite them with their husband/father, and they get their payment. And yeah, the things seem weird between them, between Voss and Ventress. They're kind of things got weird. The hand touching thing kind of made things weird.
And after they drop off the hostages, they're starting to leave. Black Sun, as ruthless as ever, they've fucking made their way to the planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as they're leaving, all these warships come out of hyperspace, and it's like, oh fuck.
And Voss knows that they've basically just wasted their time.
Well, not just wasted their time, but they've basically ensured that those kids are going to be murdered. And
how did they ensure it?
Well, because who knows what would have happened if they hadn't rescued them? They could have. The guy could have eventually given in and given over his territory or whatever that the Black Sun wanted, and he could have got him back.
I don't think
Maybe.
At all that's why Voss feels guilty.
You don't think so? Or does he feel guilty because they can't do anything about it?
I think that's why. It's because he's a Jedi. He's supposed to protect people.
Mm-hmm.
But, to be a bounty hunter, and I think this is what breaks him and leads to the bombshell at the end of the chapter, he's just like, I can't do this shit anymore because these people are going to get killed, and to maintain my cover, I can't do a fucking thing about it.
Yeah, the guilt is really starting to get to him because he's had to do lots of things that were not the Jedi way and not his way, just in order to maintain his cover.
And it says in this next part where he's at the bar and he's going over it, he knows that, like, Black Sun didn't follow him because obviously they kidnapped the family, so they know where the fucking...
Yeah, they know where to go.
People... Yeah, so it's not that, it's just there's nothing he can do about it. Yeah. And as I said, that led to the bombshell to end all bombshells.
Yeah, he eventually they go to a bar and he starts to drown his guilt in drink, and so. And
he ends up punching a table, and she's looking at him like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Yeah, he's like having a nervous breakdown.
Mm-hmm. And he tells her to go. They need to walk, and she gives him half of his earnings. He gives it back, and she's worried because he's trying to bail on her, and she actually admits, we're starting to make a good team, and he tells her, but we aren't a team.
Right. For a team to work, you have to be honest with each other, and he hasn't been being honest
but
with
he's still fucking battling with it, and then it just comes out. Basically, the thing that we've been waiting, 5 episodes for it to happen, finally fucking happens. He tells her, Asajj, I'm a Jedi.
Oh.
And I read that, and it's like, holy shit!
Yep, shit's gonna get real now.
And that's all for this week. Bye.
No, wait.
But wait!
We decided
There's more!
We decided to add a 3rd chapter this week.
Our first 3-chapter week, because there ain't no way we could have fucking waited until next week after that. Because that's a hell of a fucking cliffhanger, ain't it?
Yeah. That would have been uncool to leave you hanging for a whole week.
Yeah, huh?
So, after that bombshell, you would think she was gonna go ape shit or something, and flip the page, and her response is, I know.
Yeah.
She already fucking knew.
And it's like, wait, what? And he even says, you do? How? There's a building tension in this reveal that's really fucking thrilling. It's gripping, and unlike, I've read a lot of fucking books in my life, and I've rarely come across a page turner. Like I said, that Kane book I read, that was a fucking page turner. Mm-hmm. Couldn't put it down, didn't want to put it down. The 7th Harry Potter book, when it came out, I couldn't put that down. I had to know what happened. This is a lot like those two.
Yeah, basically she's been picking up on all those things that he thought she didn't see, like his little subtle uses of the Force, or his not so subtle uses of the Force where he was sure that she wasn't watching. Well, apparently she was watching, because she called him out for all that stuff. The way that he was able to, like, fly down that mountain with the kid on his back without killing himself.
Yeah, she tells him that should have killed you and the kid.
Yeah. All his fast reflexes, his unnaturally fast reflexes that he has, and so she knew. She's known for a while, she said. Then she's just kind of like, why? Why are you even here? What are you trying to do here?
And that's when he just fucking lays the entire plan out.
And she's like, she can't believe that the Jedi would assassinate somebody.
Yeah, make that turn to be like, fuck it, let's kill Dooku. It'll solve our problems. And she flat out tells him that your council doesn't fully understand what it would take to accomplish this goal.
Yeah, and here's about where things start to take a turn.
Yeah, this is what I mean. The tension of this reveal, and them talking it over, it's like, holy shit, what's happening next?
Yeah, and I guess you should have known by the title, like the title of the book is Dark Disciple, not Dyke Disciple.
Yeah.
Dark Disciple. You think it refers to, it probably does have a double meaning, but you think at face value that it just refers to Asajj Ventress as the Dark Disciple of Dooku, right? But here's where it takes a turn, and the title maybe means some other things.
Yeah, that's where it was starting. Shit was starting to get clearer to me too. Then.
Because she's essentially telling him that you can't kill Dooku the way you are. You're gonna need. You're going to need hatred and anger, and basically you're going to need to have all the shit that Dooku has, all the dark side shit.
And we get more of her history where she talks about all the hatred and shit that she's had boiling through her, and we actually find out specifically why she's always had this hatred of the Jedi. Because as we mentioned in previous episodes, at one point she technically was a Jedi. She was a Padawan. to I can't even remember his
Chimeric or Chimeric.
Yeah, it was something Narek.
That they showed on the Clone Wars. That was in an episode of the Clone Wars.
Yeah. But they never, I don't remember them explicitly explaining why she hated the Jedi. They showed, like...
I think they did, because her master was killed by Weequay pirates, and I guess the Jedi abandoned him or didn't come to help him or something, and that's why... I think that was in that episode.
Oh, well, maybe it was. I don't...
Because it was in the Night Sister episode, right, where she was
when they
telling them
did all
about
the flashbacks and were telling her story and shit. But I didn't really remember that, but it's probably there, and they're just reiterating it here for.
Well, they do expand on it a little bit, because she's like where she talks about all of her history. Where it's not yet in the chapter, right? It's later. It's after this meeting with Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I think it's when they get to where they're going. But yeah, she's basically telling him, right now you don't have the balls to do what needs to be done. And he's telling her, I will do what needs to be done. Which is Voss basically, saying he's willing to go to the brink. And that right there is another signal of the end. As I think we said in the first episode when the Jedi came up with this plan, it's the fact that they're willing to do shit like this is what brought them down.
Right. Yeah, it's completely not their way, not what they should be doing.
Yeah, 1313, and Obi-Wan's waiting for Voss, who once again is late, and Obi-Wan points it out and tells him, you're late, again. And Voss tells him, hey, at least I'm consistent. And this here, Voss doesn't tell Obi-Wan that, he told Ventress every fucking thing.
Right, but he knows something's up. Something's not right about him. He can tell it. He can feel it.
It's examples like this, moments like this, why Obi-Wan is one of probably my favorite Jedi and probably my favorite Star Wars character.
Yeah.
And it's like, his arc through episode 2, him investigating and following leads and shit, that was one of the few saving graces of that fucking movie for me.
Yeah, I like that part of it. The detective work kind of part of it.
That and the last 30 minutes are what makes me able to watch that movie at all.
Yeah,
If you cut out that Obi-Wan thread, I don't think I could stomach that movie.
No, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. But
it's pretty indefensible. Yeah. I can defend 1 and 3, but 2 is like, nope. Yeah. That's that one is a stinker.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, that last 30 to 45 minutes of action at the end where finally the clones are introduced.
Oh yeah, that was pretty tits.
Fucking
yeah, and the Yoda lightsaber fight and all that. That's
Yes.
But I mean the rest of it's kind of like bleh.
All the Anakin Padme stuff. Bleh.
Yeah, that's awful. We've talked about that ad nauseum.
I know, and we'll talk about it many more times, I'm sure. So let's see. He's keeping something from Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan knows it, and they kind of fucking part with Voss telling him, look, I've got this under control. Just leave it at that, dude. It's basically what he tells him.
Yeah, and he can sense that something's not right, and he's like, you better be careful, man, because she is a fucking manipulator, and she is going to turn on you.
Which,
because he can sense he can sense that he's putting too much faith in her, or too much trust.
Yep.
At one point, he says, "She's been faithful to me," and his Obi-Wan's eyebrows kind of raised, like, "Ooh, what's that supposed to mean?"
Obi-Wan's exact thought was, "That's a curious choice of words."
Mm-hmm.
But right there, that's the key word. Obi-Wan says, "Have caution, Quinlan. Ventress is nothing if not manipulative," and we're about to fucking see that.
Yeah, she's going to start manipulating some shit out of him.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if you picked up the same fucking thing I picked up here in this last section of the chapter. Which,
that she's yeah.
Blah,
okay.
blah, 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 blah. We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
So, Obi-Wan leaves. Voss has his mission. It seems like it's all going smoothly. And we cut back to him and Ventress. Ventress is taking him on a little trip to her home planet of Dathomir, which is where she starts breaking down her past and shit, which, give us a rundown of that.
Yeah, so she was born on Dathomir with the Night Sisters, but she was given away or stole. I can't remember.
I think she was stolen.
Stolen, yeah.
Yeah, kidnapped.
And yeah, she was stolen and sold to somebody to be a slave or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at some point she gets rescued by a Jedi, Kai Narek, who senses her strength in the Force and makes her his Padawan. And then at some point he gets killed by Weequay pirates. They're on a mission and he's killed by Weequay.
Yeah.
And here's where they kind of expand on what they showed. All that stuff was in the Clone Wars and like a flashback in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And what they didn't show in the Clone Wars, and she talks about here, is like she basically goes after them for revenge and wipes out all of those Weequay pirates that were responsible, like all of their leaders and all of their because it was on this one planet where they had a stronghold. So she basically wipes them all out and becomes the new leader, the new warlord or whatever of that planet. And that's eventually where Dooku finds her.
Playing queen shit, yeah. Which Weequay, has she run... That's what Hondo is, right?
Right.
I can't remember. I should, because it's not been that long since I've seen it. Did she have any run-ins with Hondo?
Maybe. I can't say yes or no for sure.
Yeah. It's got me wondering if they've had any run-in, because all those pirates seem like they're fucking connected. Yeah, they're all backstabbing scum, but it seems like they're all connected.
Yeah, they probably are.
She's breaking down her fucking issues.
Yeah, and basically they recap almost everything that the Clone Wars told you about her and the Night Sisters. The whole arc where Dooku tries to kill her and leaves her for dead because she disappointed him again, and so he just decided he was done with her.
Yeah, and she trained fucking Savage, and
yeah, she goes
that
back
didn't
to
go so well.
Yeah, she goes back to the Night Sisters and goes through the ritual to become an actual Night Sister.
That's when Dooku sent Grievous to attack.
Right, he sent an army to Dathomir and then basically wiped out all the Night Sisters.
And as they're walking along, and she's describing this, Voss is looking at all the bones and shit that's left over of the Night Sisters.
Yeah, which in that episode was pretty dope. They, there's not that many Night Sisters, so when the Dooku's army showed up, they raised their own dead, and so they had an army of zombie Night Sisters that fought.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking badass.
And that's one of those things, like, we've talked about the Clone Wars and a lot of Star Wars shit in general, and some shit doesn't feel Star Warsy. And back when we recorded that episode 20 of Just Jump to the End, I kept saying it, and I still say it. A lot of episode 7 doesn't feel Star Warsy.
Mm-hmm.
And that Night Sister shit, it doesn't feel particularly Star Warsy. But the Night Sister stuff and all the weird new shit in episode 7, it's got enough that feels Star Warsy that it kind of blows up what your definition of Star Warsy is.
Right.
Because if you fucking tell somebody off the street who's just seen like the first 6 movies or the first 7 or the 7 movies, tell them, okay, witches and magic and Star Wars. They'd be like, you're a fucking idiot. That would be stupid. I would have fucking said it. But I saw those Night Sisters episodes and it's like, holy shit, this is awesome. It's some of the best shit they did.
It takes a minute to get used to it because it is kind of out of the box.
Uh-huh. And it's jarring and it's just weird.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, they're doing like actual like magic spells and shit. And that's how they tap into the Force. They don't use it like a Jedi. They use it as a witch might.
Uh-huh. And it's takes you into this weird horror arena, which I mean, like they did in season 2 with those earworms that were attacking mostly the clones and shit, but
the Night Sister shit was creepy as fuck.
Yeah, that took it a few steps further. And like, since we're talking about the Night Sisters, that last arc of the Clone Wars that's on in the half of season 6, what did you feel about that involving Mother Talzin and that bullshit?
That was the one with the Gungans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, they weren't
lost
Gungans,
ones.
But it's the one with Jar Jar in it. Yeah, him and Mace.
Yeah, they were. Oh, that's right. They weren't Gungans. They were some other weird thing, right?
Yeah.
But it was Jar Jar's girlfriend.
Yeah. Some kind of offshoot or...
Yeah.
They were more duck-like.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, it ended up being Mother Talzin was kidnapping these these duck people or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
and
it's like
using
Howard
using
Duck's
them
wife or something.
using them to like suck the force out of them or something, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't she like sucking the force powers out of like the force sensitivity out of them?
Yeah, through every orifice.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't necessarily like that one.
That's the one like arc with the Night Sisters and the magic shit that I was just like, no, that don't work.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because
that
you've got Jar Jar over there like, Missa, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And then you got Mother Talzin is like, we're going to kill you and take your life force. Oh, Missa, no!
Yeah, I liked the mace. I like the mace and Jar Jar stuff. I like the part where Jar Jar's getting his groove on with that queen.
Yeah,
but,
they're doing Tai Chi because they're about to fuck.
Yeah, they're like sexual Tai Chi or whatever the fuck, where they share their essences and stuff. It was like, whoa.
There's gonna be some duck sauce.
Yeah. But yeah, once they got into the
towels and shit, it's like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I was like, that doesn't fit. That's what she said.
You didn't put your chocolate in my peanut butter. You put your dog shit in my peanut butter.
Yeah.
So let's finish this up.
Well, basically, she starts to talk to him about like his anger, and and he mentions his master and how he's still angry at the Jedi because, or not angry at them, but he starts thinking about it, and he's like, his master was killed, and he was supposed to be his partner on the mission where he got killed, and he wasn't because
the council
Jedi
was like, no, we've got another mission.
And so he kind of feels like the Jedi fucked him over, and his master got killed.
Yeah, and she says, "Oh, I remember that battle."
Oh yeah, I thought that was good. And then she's caught herself. She's like, "Oh shit!" Because I bet
Dooku did it.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look. We should go back and look. I wonder if that was in an episode of the Clone Wars, because that name sounds familiar. The name of his master, that master.
Yeah, the
Thuln.
name sounds familiar, and maybe we've got to. Can you Google that real quick? We're back, and we've done a little research.
That Master Thuln guy that I thought might have been in the Clone Wars. It doesn't look like he was. He originated first by John Ostrander in the Star Wars Republic comic book.
What was the title of that? Because I might have it here to read.
The character first appeared in a 2001 story arc entitled Darkness.
You said Darkness?
Mm-hmm.
Does it tell what the storyline?
If I click this
link,
I've
got that.
Do you?
Yeah, it's 187. I'm gonna flip to that real quick.
Yeah, so in the Legends continuity, he doesn't die until after the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says Thuln survived the Clone Wars and did not die until later. But in official canon, his first appearance is Dark Disciple.
There's a broad in here who looks like Mother Talzin.
Oh, really? Sith Witch?
Really?
That design's been around for a long time. Those different Sith Witch designs.
Yeah. Well, this is probably it.
Fucking people were creaming themselves when they put Sith Witches in Clone Wars.
Yeah, this here is the Sith Witches. Let me make sure I got that page number right. But yeah, I might have to read this for next week. Because this is, I think, in the Infinity's End story. Because I was flipping to get to it, and there's a broad who looks almost exactly like Mother Talzin.
Interesting. It was definitely well before the Clone Wars started. Clone Wars TV show.
When we finish, I'll snap this and snap a picture of her and send it to you. But, yeah, it's gotta be. Okay, you said it's Darkness by Ostrander, right? It's got that same artist, too. So, and there's Ayla.
Yeah, Jan Duursema has been around for a long time. I think she might have been,
Oh, shit, okay, I know why the name sounds familiar to me.
Okay.
Because, you remember that page I told you about earlier? Where he touches his lightsaber?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It shows him, and I think it mentions his name there.
Oh, okay.
No, maybe not. What the fuck? Okay, maybe not. I don't know who this is then. And you say he died after the Clone Wars?
Yeah, in the old continuity. It said he survived the Clone Wars.
Okay. I don't know. This is a continuation of the story I was just reading. And I'm not seeing a visual of him, but I'm just skimming it right now. Oh, that might be him. He kind of looks a bit like Voss if this is the right dude. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of times the Padawans look like their masters.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so she's playing on his fucking,
Yeah, his repressed resentment
Pissiness.
towards the Jedi for inadvertently causing the death of his master.
And let me ask you this. Did you get the feeling that she's the one who killed his master?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. That's why I immediately was like, oh, we got to look and see if this was an episode of the Clone Wars. Like,
Yeah.
did this happen? Did this actually happen on screen? But yeah, because she immediately caught herself and was like, oh shit, how do I save this? He's going to start, he's going to know that the reason
he'll
I
turn
know
his
about
rage
it
on
was,
me.
yeah. And she's like, oh, no, I wasn't there. Dooku told me about it.
Yeah.
He's the one that killed your master, and he kept his lightsaber as a trophy. So she's like putting fuel on the fire.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. As if Voss needed another fucking reason to want to kill Dooku.
So yeah, so now she's happy with herself because she's, gotten deeper into his trust and pissed him off more, made him want to kill Dooku more. So it's like now the tables are starting to turn, and now I think she's going to use him.
Uh-huh. She's just like fucking Edge. She's a master manipulator. That joke's for a few people who are wrestling fans. So yeah, and the chapter ends with fucking him finally embracing some of those not-so-Jedi emotions and whatnot, and they start swapping spit. Oh my god!
Yep. He grabs it said something about he like let out this fucking primal roar or some bullshit, right? Was it like some kind of agonized noise that he made and like started kissing her? It was like, oh my god.
It says, he stared at her for a long moment, then with a sound of both desire and anguish, as if something had broken within him, he pulled her into his arms and kissed her. Desire and anguish, what would that sound like?
I don't know.
Like, ah!
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I've been hella horny in my life, but I've never fucking made a sound of desire and anguish.
Never see a hot chick walking down the street and you're like, ah!
I've never made like a
stops
Tarzan
like, are
yell.
you okay? Well, fuck!
My pants are sticky now.
I pitch tent and my pants go boom!
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an awkward sentence.
I know. And just think about it from her perspective. She's fallen for this dude, she's manipulating him, but she's fallen for him, and all of a sudden he's like, ah! Ah! And starts fucking jamming his tongue in her mouth.
Well,
What the
know.
fuck?
She's a freak, though. Maybe that, that could be, maybe that's the way the Sith do it.
I don't even fucking know, man.
Maybe they fuck like Klingons. They
I don't know what that means.
I bet they basically beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, so like Mike and Fee on Burn Notice.
Nah, maybe a little more violent than that.
Well, I mean,
there's usually broken bones involved.
well, I mean, there was a couple times where Fiona almost broke Mike's arm and shit. She had a gun to his throat and shit, and he's like, I don't want to do it like this. So, put it this way, it's the way Fiona likes to fuck. Like I said, somebody gonna get cummed on.
Yep, so that's the end of that chapter, so...
And he's ready to wrap up because it's getting too dirty for him.
No.
The way you say that is like, no, I'm waiting for it to get dirtier.
No,
So-
but I do admit the part of me feels bad for making Star Wars dirty.
We didn't do it. They did.
I know, yeah.
There's no fucking caveat. He fucking made his sexual squeal and stuck his tongue in her mouth before he stuck his dick in her puss.
Let me see your fuck face.
So do you think she shaved or what?
Excuse me?
What?
Huh?
Did you really not hear me, or are you just trying not to go that way with Star Wars?
No, I heard you.
We got a spotty connection.
Okay. If I had to guess, I would say she is, because they do describe like her outfit at one point in one of these chapters that we just read. I think where the Faline guy is like looking at her when she said she's an emissary, and he's like, she's not dressed like no emissary. Like, she's got like some fucking really worn leather pants and top and like a leather jumpsuit or whatever the fuck she's wearing. And I'm telling you, I don't think there's any hair going on underneath that leather jumpsuit. Like that skin tight shit. I don't think there is. That'd be too much. There'd be too much tugging going on in that hair. I think she's like a seal.
Oh my god, this is getting really fucked up. And you were saying you felt bad about making Star Wars dirty, and look what you just said.
I didn't make it dirty.
Oh,
You asked me a question. That's not dirty. You asked me about a functional question about the practicalities
You're
of
stumbling like me.
Yeah, no, I think she's shaved for sure.
Waxed or shaved?
Okay. Maybe she uses her lightsaber as like laser removal.
Oh fuck. So, what did you think of those 3 chapters?
They were good. I mean,
yeah.
The rescue was kind of pretty formulaic and standard, I thought. I think I even told you that earlier in the week, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's just basically standard shit. And then that those last 2 chapters was like, holy fuck. The way it ended and went into the next one, it's like, oh my god, she's gonna make him her bitch, her dark side bitch. Because that's what I think is going to happen now is, I think the tables are turned, and now she's going to use him and make him into this tool, this dark side tool to use against Dooku.
Yeah.
And she's going to,
I'm looking at it here, and that right there seems like it would have been the perfect spot to end the episode, so it's going to be interesting for me to see if there's like a time jump or a tonal shift.
Oh, in the next chapter?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. I read like the first sentence of the next chapter.
Oh, you cheating motherfucker.
Yeah, I cheated.
Oh.
Well, I had to know whether it was got like graphic Harlequin romance novel in the next one, in the next chapter.
It's Star Wars. There's a chance a kid could read this. It's not going to be like he made her toes curl as he plunged deep inside.
You don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I know that for sure. There's not going to be talk of his fucking balls slapping into her asshole.
Oh, I mean, if you say it like that.
No,
there's not. They do jump ahead. It's more. The first sentence is more like it's like time passes. It's going to be another montage, I think.
So yeah, that makes me think this is going to be the end of one episode.
Yeah.
Which you say that's where he becomes the Dark Disciple. Do you think we're into the Dark Disciple episode yet, or how many episodes into this arc do you think we are?
I hadn't even really considered that. I hadn't been keeping track of.
Well, to me, it only seems like one episode has passed, but we're almost halfway through the novel.
Yeah.
So if you're just looking at the length of the novel, we're at least 2 episodes in, and we're either going into the 3rd episode or into the 4th episode.
Yeah, because let's see, Lethal Alliance was the first episode.
Yeah.
And the mission. So Lethal Alliance would be the mission. Conspirators. Well, which one would be conspirators? Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 episodes in this book.
Yeah.
And we're halfway through. So yeah, I mean,
we're almost halfway.
Yeah, I think we're into Dark Disciple now.
Yeah, her fucking.
I think this is the beginning. Yeah, I think this is the beginning of Dark Disciple.
Okay. Don't you mean Dyke Disciple?
Dyke Disciple? No, I don't think so. I think she's straight.
I was gonna make a joke about her haircut. We're probably gonna be cutting a lot of that out.
No, I like that. I like that haircut actually. It's very 80s.
Yeah.
It's very 80s, like Annie Lennox or.
Both of them have a real fucking old school 70s, 80s vibe.
Yeah.
Because as I said, he looks a lot like Bon Scott mixed with Morrison.
Yeah.
But anyways, these 3 chapters. The first chapter wasn't much going on. Second chapter didn't really have anything until he fucking unzipped and laid it out and told her, hey, I'm a Jedi. And then this chapter had a lot of fucking detailed backstory and content.
Yeah. So,
how are you feeling about the book so far?
I think it's good. I think it's real good. I probably haven't enjoyed a Star Wars book like that since Darth Plagueis or Kenobi. Yeah.
I still want to read Kenobi.
Even Bloodline, which I'm like almost halfway through, I think, before I stopped to start this one. Even that one's it's okay, but it's kind of slow going.
Yeah. Well, I've heard some say that like it's really good, but it takes a little bit to get into it.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too. I think I'm like right on the cusp of shit really taking off.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull up what I said to you earlier because I want to say the exact quote. Okay, this is what I said. And it's true. The more I think about it, the more it's true. I'm just going to throw this out. Again, this is the quote of what I sent you earlier.
Yeah, and it was shocking to me.
It was shocking to me, too. I've said, I'm just going to throw this out there. This book is quickly turning into one of my all-time favorites. Not just Star Wars. Of all that I've read, ever. And it's true, because I've named two of the books that, I have actually breezed through with ease, because they were just so fucking good that I couldn't put them down. Journey into Darkness, which is on our list to read for a future book club, and Harry Potter 7, which Harry Potter 7 was mostly because, I enjoyed the series and I wanted to know how it ended. There's other Star Wars books that I really fucking love, like the Darth Bane trilogy. Mm-hmm. There's some other Clone Wars books that are legends now, but they were in continuity with the series. They were really fucking great. The Republic Commando novels, but none of them have made me fucking zip through them as fast as this.
Yeah, it's actually been kind of hard not to keep going.
I know.
Like 2 chapters a week. We were trying to be like conservative and like making sure we could get through them in a timely manner, or get through them in time for each week's recording. Yeah. But the chapters turn out to be pretty short, and couple that with they're pretty quick reads. And, they make you want to keep going. So it's like, man, we should have done like fucking 6 chapters a show.
Yeah, huh?
But then, of course, as soon as we do that, then I wouldn't be able to keep up.
Well, see, I think I mentioned this in one of our other episodes, which actually we need to start wrapping up because we're going on an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But I said it in one of the previous episodes. When we were reading 2 chapters a week, I try to push it as far as I can so that I can remember it for when we record. But this week, I read the first chapter a few days ago. I read the second chapter, I guess Friday, because we're recording, or maybe I read it yesterday, I don't fucking remember. We're recording on Saturday, or Sunday this week, just for everybody listening. I read the first chapter, which was chapter 11, then second chapter, and it was like, holy shit, we gotta read another chapter, and you were like, I know, I wish we were, reading 4 chapters or something. Instead of 2, because we were both fucking chomping at the bit to go read more.
To go on to the next one, yeah.
Because that fucking bombshell of I'm a Jedi, it's like there ain't no way we can wait a week.
Yeah, and turns out it worked out good because this was the last chapter before kind of a break. So if we would have waited till next week, it might have been kind of awkward to do this one and then and then some time passes.
Maybe. I don't know.
But this way, it kept the momentum of all 3 of them together.
Yeah, and we didn't. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, there's a break in the story momentum.
I feel you. Now let's get to our thank yous. First of all, always thanks go to @theJSarge for the intro that we use for both this and the main show. I mean, we're like, almost 20 times we've used it now? Still fucking works, man.
Yeah. This hasn't gotten old yet.
Nope. He's got a podcast, again, can't forget that. Jeff Knows Nothing, Jeff with 1 F, right?
Right, 1 F.
It's on SoundCloud, or, again, I think it's I think he's got a site for it, jeffknowsnothing.blogspot.com. Mm-hmm. Again, Jeff with 1 F.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to it, it's pretty good. Yeah. He's got a pretty cool gimmick.
Which is just, somebody sends in a question.
Yeah, he takes user-submitted questions, and he has his daughter pick one. He doesn't know what it's going to be, and she asks him the question, and he has to, come up with some bullshit explanation or answer to the question.
And then, again, for our logo, thanks go to @SherrySays.
Yep.
It's fucking pretty cool.
Yeah. Right now you can get it on merchandise at redbubble.com.
So, yeah, thanks to Sherry for that. And then, thanks to the 2 ladies that are really ladies, who helped with the intro, @BatCat37 and @TESD Groupie. So yeah, That's all for the Nerd Blitz Book Club for this week. Come back next week as we continue Star Wars Dark, Disciple by Christie Golden.
Bookmark it.
This has been a feature of JJ2E Media and TSDJA Productions.